jump into chapter 3 and 4. I'm not going to go in depth with these two like I did the last two videos, just because there's a lot, and you guys are perfectly capable of reading. So please, please outreach me with any questions or clarifications. I think the information is straightforward, so if you do not, I am here to help you learn and facilitate you gaining that knowledge. So chapter 3, Introductions to Claims and Processing. And you may hear me flip through my book. I have my book in my hand. The chapter starts off with history of reimbursement, typical fee for service payment structures, how currently we're in a prospective payment environment. For example, if you've been to an urgent care doctor's office or even had surgery lately, they are collecting payment upfront before you even receive services. The chapter continues with providers, suppliers, and claims, and those definitions are provided. Types of claims are reviewed. We have a nice insurance claim form example or sample on page 39. I'm going to keep flipping. Portable x-ray and portable services. I'm not sure if you've seen them within your community, but there are buses or old buses, converted buses or RVs that ride around offering portable mammograms or portable blood pressure checks, cholesterol checks, diabetes, all sorts of portable services that are available. Even some MRIs can be done in the back of a truck, trailer, or RV type thing. Those are billed differently. Obviously, they're not at a hospital setting, so they would be billed differently. Ambulance services is something to consider. That's, who pays for that and how is that coded? The information continues with misdirect claims, laboratory services, claims with claims for payment when items and services are part of PPS. That is discussed. Beneficiaries are discussed. Patient refunds. It's important how each facility handles refunds. You have to give patients their money back when money is due. Physician self-referral is not something that's allowed. The chapter goes into that and why that is part of that. Financial relationships are discussed. Financial liability and protection of beneficiaries is an entire section in this chapter. It's very important. You're going to learn who is capable and not capable of making decisions, especially financial decisions when it comes to health care. You will also learn how to appeal a claim. That section is in here too, a good overview, and how many days you have to file that type of thing, and the 5 different levels that are required to appeal a claim in chapter 3. And then there's a nice conclusion for chapter 3. I'm going to keep going. Chapter 4 is not a heavy chapter, but it's about government payer types, and there are several. I want to make sure you familiarize yourself with those. You are going to repeatedly hear Medicare and Medicaid mentioned throughout this entire class because they're the largest government, or one of the largest government payers, and there's particular ways to go about billing, and those patients, only certain doctor's offices accept Medicare, Medicaid patients, that type of thing. So it's special. That's why you're going to hear it so often. So there's actually a Medicare A, B, C, and D currently. The chapter starts out with who is covered under Medicare, and Part A, what Part A does, what Part A covers, a benefit period. They're all a little different. So you're going to want to read this chapter and familiarize yourself. Skilled nursing facilities are also very different with each one of these government payers. What's allowed, what is not allowed. Home health care, hospice care is unique with these government payers. So be sure and read about that. Medicaid, Medicare extends coverage for people with ALS, end-stage renal disease, and the billing for those patients are very different too. How you pay for Part A and Part B is very different, and even C and D. So read about that, and seriously, let me know if you have any questions about this. Medigap insurance is important to know also. The chapter continues and it goes into the history of Medicaid, state level, the scope of what Medicaid services offer, what payments cover, and then the chapter moves into other types of coverage. Children's health insurance program is mentioned because that's sort of new since 1997. Medicaid, Medicare are older than that. Then we have plans just for elderly. And then above and beyond that, we have plans for our military. There is TRICARE and there's CHAMP VA for military. And again, each one of those has different provisions and different costs, different benefits to it. And then the chapter ends with the Indian Healthcare Services, or Indian Services is an agency that is, for our Native Americans, our tribes that are still around. Also, there's workers' compensation. I skipped right over that accidentally. That is a very unique billing, financing, paying entity, if you will. So make sure you read about that. And the conclusion. And then we move on to chapter 5, and I'll do a video for that next week. But again, chapter 3 and 4, lots of information. Read it, review it. Let me know if there's anything I can help clarify, and hopefully next week when I go to make my video, it will work. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful week, and seriously, let me know if I can do anything. Thanks.